Hey everybody, Joe Joseph here for thedailysheeple.com, and this is your news shot. Freaky Friday edition it is, and the Daily Mail is saying that artificial life breakthrough as researchers expand DNA's alphabet. Get this, they're creating a living organism with both artificial and natural DNA. I've heard colleagues of mine like Anthony Patch talk extensively about a third strand of DNA being engineered into natural DNA. This goes along with CERN research and things like that. It's been what an unbelievable ride that is to go down. But it says here in a major step towards creating artificial life. Artificial life. U.S. researchers have developed a living organism that incorporates both natural and artificial DNA and is capable of creating entirely new synthetic proteins. The work published in the journal Nature brings scientists closer to the development of designer proteins made to order in a laboratory. However, the team says that their work is safe, and they say the semi-synthetic organisms can't live outside the laboratory. I will say this with put an asterisk by that and say this, yet. They can't live outside the laboratory yet. And that's what they're advertising. Okay, so who knows what's going on behind the scenes or what research has already been accomplished where, and not to mention, why do they have to utilize this for new organisms, right? So this is how they're framing it. But that's not exactly how it can also be used. You can also add these to current DNA and splice them in using your CRISPR kits. So let's not forget that either, you know. So you get your CRISPR kit, you go make some genetic changes, you add some of this synthetic DNA in there, and what do you got? Who knows what you're doing to the human body or how you can manipulate it utilizing synthetic DNA. Now, it says previous works by Floyd Romsberg, a chemical biologist in the Scripps Research Institute in La Jolla, California, says he showed that it was possible to expand the genetic alphabet of natural DNA beyond its current 4 letters. If you don't know, there's only 4 letters. But this is interesting because, again, it shows that we didn't come from Campbell's soup or the primordial ooze that a lot of people and mainstream science likes to say we did. There's an alphabet here, okay? There's an intelligent alphabet. This is a program. DNA is a program. It's like your BIOS, if you will. And A, C, G, and T are your letters. And those stand for the type of proteins that those letters represent. Now, in 2014, Romsberg and colleagues created a strand of E. coli bacteria that contained 2 unnatural letters, X and Y. And in the latest work, Romsberg's team has shown that a partially synthetic form of E. coli can take instruction from this hybrid genetic alphabet to make new proteins. Now, he says he wouldn't call it a new life form, but it's the closest thing anyone's ever made. And this is the first time, he says, ever a cell has translated a protein using something other than GCA or T. And although the actual changes to the organisms were small, the feat is significant because it's the first change to life ever made. It's a goal Romsberg has been working towards for the past 20 years. Creating new forms of life, however, is not the main point. Exactly what I said in the beginning. It is not the main point. The main point is to be able to manipulate current DNA to treat diseases and maybe even prevent diseases by programming them away. You know, so that's a very interesting thing. He formed a company called Synthorx. And he says a lot of proteins that you want to use as drugs get cleared in the kidneys very quickly. He says this new system would allow scientists to attach fat molecules to drugs to keep them in the body longer. So we're seeing, you know, organic medicine now start to come about. as a result of this. And I got to tell you, the advancements in terms of genetic pharmacology is unbelievable. Doctors can now formulate the best medicine just based on your DNA profile. They pull your DNA profile and they'll see what your weaknesses are, what you may be have more of a tolerance to, all this kind of stuff. They can figure it all out now utilizing, just reading your DNA. It's unbelievable. This is not, he says, by the way, a Jurassic Park scenario. Now, I don't know about that. I will say that this can work, again, to treat disease, but it can also be used to develop enhanced humans, which is, something that, if you remember the old Star Trek episode Khan, that's what he was, genetically engineered to be superior with intellect, with physique, all that stuff, enhanced. Right now, they're talking about doing it with implants, AI-managed implants to give like superhuman strength to help aid depression in veterans and things like this, which is, of course, very noble and good. But why deal with an implant when you can just manipulate the DNA utilizing synthetic DNA? And now all of a sudden you've just engineered that away. Now, you don't have to worry about depression. You don't have to worry about disability. Why? We can just do anything. We can make it all go away. I think, the same hype was given to vaccines when vaccines came on the scene, late 19th, early 20th century, when it was really kind of started to become mainstream. Before, like if you got smallpox, you went to a cow or something like that, or even somebody that had a smallpox blister, and you took some of the dead cells and you scratched your arm and you put it on there, and then you prayed you didn't get the bad form of it. You prayed you got like a lesser form of it, and you survived, and you developed a resistance against it. And of course, that's where the modern day vaccination process came from. But you wonder if there wasn't that much hype surrounding vaccines at that time. Here we have a new technology, if you will, that's going to eradicate disease. We won't have any more disease, nothing. I wonder if there wasn't that kind of hype back then that we're seeing now with regards to genetic manipulation, DNA manipulation. So we are, at a very pivotal point in our history, human history. And there's so many different ways that they can do this. Think about this, too. Back in 2005, the DOD was experimenting with something called FunVax, since I'm talking about vaccines. But you want to talk about manipulating things and manipulating the way people think or operate. FunVax was used to basically shut down the God gene, they called it, the VMAT gene. And basically what that did is it makes people docile. They no longer feel this urge to rise up. They no longer feel this urge or sense of duty to a deity or a god, right? So with that said, you just make these basically lethargic, apathetic people that just don't give a crap about anything. And they can't connect to their creator, utilizing, if they shut this VMAT2 gene or whatever it was off. I mean, this is stuff they've been working on for a long time. That was 2005. God only knows how it works now. And if genetic manipulation can just accomplish the same thing, which I'm sure it can. It's just a gene, just shut it off. So, I mean, who knows? All I can say is the road to hell is paved by good intentions. And while this can cure diseases and everybody can sing Kumbaya, and I'm sure that is a possible scenario, human beings have a way to turn that into a train wreck. And I see that other train coming over the horizon. And we're headed straight for it. I'm Joe Joseph. This was thedailysheeple.com's News Shot. Feel free to comment below and visit our website at thedailysheeple.com. # Wake the Flock Up. Have a great day, everybody.